What's up? We're back again with week 12 recap. We're going to go over how we did on our picks from last week and talk a little bit about the games. The Bills and the Texans. Honestly, Bills aren't looking good right now anymore. I don't know what's going on with the Bills. I think it's the lack of weapons on the offensive side of the ball, but they just were not able to get anything going the way that they usually do. The Texans being shorthanded, I think, are a strong team now. And when CJ Stroud comes back, that only makes them better. We'll see if that's still his job. Davis Mills has done a pretty good job in holding it down for him, you know. Steelers and the Bears. I honestly thought... Well, actually, no, I didn't think this game would be a blowout. I thought this game pretty much went the way that I thought it would. You know, with Aaron Rodgers not playing, I think that really changed a lot of how the Steelers were able to play offense. The Bears are getting it done. The Bears are getting it done. They're 8-3. The most surprising team this year so far, I think. They look like a strong team right now. They're slowly figuring it out. It took a little bit, but they're figuring it out. And I still think they're still in that little rough patch of completely figuring it out because they don't really control games. They don't control the games like they really should, I guess. A lot of these games are very close when it comes down to the fourth quarter. You know, they're very resilient and just can finish a game, which is great. You need that, especially heading into the playoffs. You need that. A lot of good things for the Bears moving forward. The Lions and the Giants, honestly, the Lions, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing, man? Taking that Giants team to a 34-27 score is insane. Absolutely insane. Why? Here's why. The Giants are not a good team. They're sitting at 2-10 now. To be fair, they were at 2-9 before this. But it doesn't change the fact that the Lions took them to OT. This should have been an easy blowout for the Lions. The Lions' biggest weakness is that defense and Jared Goff. Despite him putting up 34 points here, I think that facing tougher defenses, and the Giants by no means have a bad defense, you know? It's just their offense that's a little harder to look at and be like, oh wow, they're really great. They're missing a ton of people, but they're still putting up a lot of points here against a top team like the Lions. I just don't know what you do if you're the Lions. You need to figure it out on defense before the playoffs start. You really need to, or else you're a first round exit. That's even if you make it, you know. 7-4, a lot of games left. Scary times for the Lions right now. Scary times. Vikings and the Packers. I mean, this kind of went the way I expected it to. JJ McCarthy is not the answer. He's not the answer. Packers just had to play their game here. They didn't really do anything special. They waited for McCarthy to make those mistakes. He did. Capitalized on it. You know, not much else to say there. Our second wrong pick here. Chiefs versus the Colts. The Colts are very, very much sorry. They choked. They choked so hard. They choked so hard in this game. And I have no idea why. Like, realistically, I have no idea why. How did this happen? I don't understand what the Colts are doing. All credit to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs here. They were able to come back and win this, you know. Just shows you how great of a quarterback Patrick Mahomes is. That being said, though, the Colts losing like this, you know, moving forward, they're not as strong of a team as we thought they were. Were they coming off a bye? I think they were coming off a bye week. It's tough to see that a top team like this was able to just choke. But I did say that the Chiefs were going to be way better at shutting down Jonathan Taylor. And they did. They did a pretty good job at it. You know, he still got his yardage and stuff and his carries, but for the most part, they were able to turn him down. I just thought the Colts looked in better shape and had more momentum, you know. But they're still a strong team. Both of these teams are very strong. They definitely have potential to meet in the playoffs again. Jets and the Ravens, not much to say here other than Tyrod Taylor does look like he's bringing some life into this Jets team. The Ravens and Lamar, I'm not sure what's really going on with him. He has an injury. I don't know if he picked it up this game, though. I didn't really get to watch, but they got the job done. And moving forward, that's all they need to do to make it to the playoffs. Just get the job done. Seattle and the Titans, this game was it wasn't that close because the second half, Seahawks were literally just playing two-hand touch football. But Cam Ward is a great piece to build around in the future if the Titans can do it correctly. Unfortunately, it's the Titans, so I don't think they can, but you know, Cam Ward looks amazing as a quarterback. The Seahawks need to clean up on defense. Even that first drive was super sloppy. Play better offensive football in the second half because I think that was a majority of why this score is somewhat close. Overall, though, pretty big win here. Not that big of a win, but a good win. Patriots and the Bengals, kind of a shootout. Patriots kind of got smacked a little bit. They got punched in the face early and came back and we're able to win this. The Bengals have shown to have some life in them now. They have shown to have some life. With Joe Burrow coming back this week, it'll be interesting to see how that team readjusts to Joe Burrow. You know, they haven't had him for pretty much the whole season, you know. So it'll be interesting to see how he affects the offense again. And maybe the defense, who knows? Maybe they start picking it up. But nonetheless, we got that one right. Browns and the Raiders. Props to Shador. His first start looked pretty good. Threw a sloppy pick, I believe in the second quarter. I don't remember exactly, but he threw a sloppy pick. What do you do if you're the Raiders? Like, realistically, what do you do? There's not much for you to do other than try to sell the team, maybe. I don't know. Like, the Raiders just look bad. Gotta feel for Max Crosby. He's not gonna win a ring there, but he's getting paid handsomely. So all there is to it. Browns, though, were able to get the job done. Their defense is really good. Like I said, they might not look like a great team, but that defense looks really good. Yeah, they got the job done. Jaguars and the Cardinals. OT win for the Jaguars. I thought this game would have been slightly more of a blowout, but Cardinals are a tough team. They're a tough team for sure. Jacoby Brissett keeps them competitive, you know. The Jaguars have a really big problem at QB, though. Trevor Lawrence, I don't really think he's the future of Jacksonville. I think he's probably going to get traded or released this offseason. A lot of what's wrong with Jacksonville comes through him. I think he makes some very sloppy mistakes in crunch time, and that just hurts the whole team. So not good. But we got that one right. Eagles and the Cowboys. Wow, what a game. What a game. What a great game. Apologies on my side. I didn't really have that much faith in the Cowboys. I thought they were going to get completely destroyed. I take back everything I say. That Cowboys offense looked amazing. Besides CeeDee Lamb, though. He had some costly picks. Not picks. He had some costly drops. One in the end zone and a few in the open field. Yeah, I mean, George Pickens looks like a wide receiver one in this team, so I don't know what you do if you're Dallas moving forward. And you gotta pay George Pickens now. But yeah, I mean, the Eagles division game here, I'm assuming they knew it was gonna be tough. Yeah, I mean, they just got punched in the face here. They lost a pretty bad one here. And I think a majority of it is because of Saquon. Saquon wasn't really able to get much going throughout the game, and that didn't allow for the passing game to open up. But I also think Jalen Hurts is just his lack of being able to get his run game going. You know, he's a mobile quarterback. He should be able to at least get a couple runs throughout the game. But yeah, we got that one wrong. The Saints and the Falcons, also another one we got wrong. Yeah, I mean, I thought I had better hope in the Saints that they would be able to pull it off. But hey, Kirk Cousins looked pretty good with that offense now. So maybe they have a shot at making the playoffs if they went out. Who knows? But props to Kirk Cousins for coming back and being able to put this game away. All right, Rams and the Bucks. I mean, the Buccaneers are just banged up everywhere. They have no healthy positions, really. They look bad. They look very, very bad. And the Rams are just completely dominating right now. They are a dominant team. I would say they're Super Bowl favorites moving forward. But playoffs haven't started yet, so we'll see. We'll see. But they are a strong contender. Panthers and the Niners. The amount of turnovers that this game had was insane. Bryce Young is, oh my god, he's sloppy. He's sloppy. He makes some very bad reads and just turns the ball over when he doesn't need to. Same with Brock Purdy, though. Tough loss for the Panthers here. They put the Falcons, the Saints in play for the division, or at least their spot, because the Bucks are still ahead now. But yeah, scary moving forward for them. All right, on to week 13. Thank you for watching the week 12 recap. Hope your picks were better than mine. Like, subscribe, comment. See you next time. Peace.